Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike the Intern, Ned Reynolds, back in the studio on a Thursday morning. So Ned's got his galoshes on. We got him a little nice parka. So if you see a little guy running around, looks like Paddington Bear, it's just Ned staying away from the rain.
I'll tell you what, no, when I just came in here a little while ago, it felt like spring. Thank you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah, well, it's going to get us smacked in the face a little bit more cold before too long, but it's coming. It's coming. Somebody that's going, unfortunate to see, but I kind of felt that it was going to happen. McCall Hardman, no longer Kansas City Chiefs. He's going to the Jets.
Not surprised at all. You could see it coming. He was used sparingly. Of course, he was injured, too, and he had that injury to the pelvis bone, and hey, that you don't heal with that very quickly, especially when you're in the course of a season and you're getting hit all the time. And he really just never lived up to the expectations. So was it a surprise? No, not at all. In fact, the New York Jets think they can use him. He does have great north-south speed. I wouldn't call Hardman a great lateral runner at all. But in terms of his sheer speed, he's probably a little bit quicker than Tyreek Hill. But the fact of the matter remains, he's not a Chief any longer. He will be wearing the green of the New York Jets.
They still haven't signed Aaron Rodgers yet, have they?
Aaron Rodgers is the biggest.
I know, but so like the whole story.
He's the biggest. All right, now you can.
All right, I was just trying to bleep you out. The rumor is that he went to New York, had meetings, blah blah blah, and gave them a dream team of guys that he wanted to throw to, and they're moving on it. But it's interesting to me that he still hasn't signed with them. So is he just waiting to see if they do what he asks? And if they do, boom, I'm going to New York. I
really think he will sign with the Jets because he burned some bridges with the Packers, according to the media. You know, severed all relations with them and didn't want anything to do with them anymore. The guy is a little wacko, in my opinion. You don't behave like that as a professional. But when you're dealing with the media, and the media takes everything out of context, in my opinion, hey, whatever happens, happens.
Speaking of which, there's still two guys out there. OBJ is available, and Hopkins is available, and everyone seems to think Kansas City is going to make a play at those dudes.
DeAndre Hopkins, yes. Odell Beckham Jr., I think he would be a big problem with the Chiefs.
We'll see what happens. Still got plenty of time left in the free agency before the draft kicks off a month from now. All right. Just got done with the World Baseball Classic. This happens every year?
No, every 4 years.
Okay, when's the next one?
Next one will be in March of 2026. Now, you have to understand that the World Baseball Classic is not operated by Major League Baseball, but it is associated with Major League Baseball and the Players Association. Well, yesterday, MLB and the commissioner, Mr. Manfred, and the Players Association all said, hey, bring it on. We want to be a part of it. And to that end, it got such great coverage this year, and the games were so good that many of the major leaguers who decided to skip the thing are now saying, count me in. One of whom is Aaron Judge, who is home run big basher of all of baseball, along with Mike Trout. They saw those guys playing. They saw what the USA could do. USA needs pitching on their team, but 4 years from now, when they play again in 2026, we may see a totally different team. But the fact of the matter remains that baseball and the Players Association think it's great, and they want to be a part of it. So bring it on in March of 2026.
Last but not least, and this is kind of coming back to full circle while we started this conversation about spring, we are a week away from opening day.
And it does enter into that World Baseball Classic because there's some thought now that they may move it back a week to end it just as the baseball season is beginning. It's pretty close to it now because the baseball season opens a week from today. And both of the Missouri teams will play in Missouri. Cardinals will host the Toronto Blue Jays up at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The Royals will take on the Minnesota Twins up at Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City. And, Mike, both of those games start at the same time at 3:10 in the afternoon. That's all arranged for television purposes because these games are all on TV, at least for now. That TV situation is very dicey with the bankruptcy from the Bally Sports people, but we'll see eventually how that evolves into the viewing habits of the American public.
Hopefully we get to watch some free baseball. That's what I'm hoping for.
There ain't nothing free in
Well, hey, man. Don't just squash all my dreams. So, I know this is something near and dear to your heart.
It is.
No more driving over into Kansas to make your bets.
Well,
Sports gambling bill is halfway home in Missouri. This will change some things, don't you think?
if it happens. Now, the key is that it's halfway home. It went before the Missouri State House yesterday, and it breezed through 118 to 35. Now, keep in mind, the State House is controlled by the Republicans, and they're very much for this. And so is Ned Reynolds, and that has nothing to do with party affiliation. I just think it's a great deal because the money being assessed from gambling, there's a 10% fee and there's a 10% tax, all going to education. All for that. All right, now it goes to the Senate. And there is a hang-up in the Senate from a gentleman in Warrensburg who wants to attach another bill to this gambling. And it's a bill that concerns video games in gas stations and convenience
the slot
stores.
machine
The slot
things.
machines,
Yeah, okay.
Well, there's no regulation to those, and he wants some regulation tied to them. And that may hold up this bill because apparently there's a pretty big debate. I've got to admit to you, Mike, I don't know anything about slot machines and video. What are they?
They're just slot machines. You go in there and you put your money in, and most of the time you lose, but every now and then you might win.
It is gambling.
I think so. I've never actually done. It's kind of like those places you hear where it's like they're the phone credit place. You go in there and you buy minutes on your phone, and then you use the minutes card to play. Essentially, it's no different than when you go to a casino. Instead of just using cash and your ticket voucher, it just loads on a card and you're using that as your tender, and then I'm going to sell you my minutes back at the end of it. I think that's the legal loophole they use to get around it. I don't know about the gas stations. I just heard about that stuff. I don't really like to gamble all that much because I don't make enough money to lose anyway, so it's not worth it. But yeah, I don't know. But it would be nice to be able to have it. Again, if you're going to have a bunch of guys in this state hopping over to Kansas to make sports bets because all they got to do is drive. I mean, I'm talking more specifically about KC metro area, but still, that's millions that you could be gaining for kids in school. So why the hell not do it?
The key is this. There are 50 states in the union. 33 of them have okayed gambling, including Washington, D.C. There's the answer. These states are getting their own tax money and putting it back into use, and good use with education. We could do the same thing here. I think it's going to eventually pass. When is another question, because who knows about the senators? They can... Well, I better not get into that.
All right, let's not talk anymore about that before you get in too much trouble. We don't need you under any investigations. So, my bracket's looking pretty damn good right now in the pool. I'm the leader, and if all the guys that I have picked to win tonight or in tomorrow win, then it looks like I will. As long as Alabama goes all the way, because that could change. It is the tournament and anything can happen, but round 2 kicks off tonight, Sweet 16. My K-State Wildcats definitely have a tough matchup against Michigan State.
They will. Tom Izzo's ball club is always primed and ready for postseason, but I'll tell you what, K-State is awfully tough. I think K-State wins this one tonight. Have 2 locales tonight in the Sweet 16. One is Madison Square Garden in New York, where K-State will be, and the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. They are the 2 for tonight. Now, there are 2 more tomorrow night, the T-Mobile Arena in Kansas City. Boy, T-Mobile is spending some big money for
They got a lot of places to hang out in the country, don't they?
And the other's the Yum Center in Louisville. I had an individual ask me yesterday, the what center? It's the Yum, Y-U-M. Hey, the Yum Company, folks, that first of all, the arena in downtown Louisville is a palace. I've had the pleasure of being there. It is absolutely sensational. Seats about 23,000. It looms right over top of you. It's built for basketball. It's where Louisville University plays. Yum Company. Yum Company is Kentucky Fried Chicken, it's Taco Bell, it's Pizza Hut. I mean, they've got a conglomerate all around the world.
Real side note, have you ever been to one of the, I don't know if they do them anymore, but they used to have them in Kansas City all the time, where they'd have the building where it would have all 3 in it. You could go in and you'd either get Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell, or the other one you mentioned, all in one place. It was like going to the mall.
The answer is yes, and the Yum Center is that. Plus, it's a 3-tier arena. And on the second tier, when you look up, there are 2 clubs. There are two clubs in this arena, the Jack Daniels Club and the Jim Beam Club, and it says it right on there. Welcome to the club. I said, I'm home, man.
I was like, I'm surprised you're not there right now. You eating fried chicken, drinking whiskey, and watching basketball. My God, I think you just described. I was like, you just described your heaven. I don't know what else to say. Okay, well, but yeah, I did pick K-State to win tonight. Hopefully they do. I believe I picked Tennessee to win. So if those two do win, they end up facing each other.
Tennessee has problems. They're playing Florida Atlantic, and nobody's ever heard of Florida Atlantic before. Coached by, their head coach is a guy named Dustin May, and he's pretty good. His team is 33-3. They've lost 3 games this year, and they play a pretty good schedule. This will be a tough match for Tennessee.
Well, we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed, because I really would like to win this pool if I can. I was so close to winning fantasy football this year. I'm still dying for something. All right, last but not least, we did return to spring training yesterday. How'd our Missouri teams do?
Well, one of them played, get this, 2-8. Now, games in spring training can end in ties, and they frequently do. Cardinals played to a 0-0 tie.
Oh, God, that's boring.
How bad is that? They played the Miami Marlins. Royals won. They beat the Chicago White Sox 4-3, and both open the season 1 week from today.
Man, can't believe the year's flying by like it is. And just like this hour, man, I'll see you tomorrow.